What I want to talk about today is a concept called SoulPact, and it came to me because 2 months ago, my son Hayden and I attended Singularity University in Palo Alto, California. The only way they can explain how quantum computers are processing things so fast is that these computers are processing things in multiple dimensions. We are now literally leveraging multiverse theory, which is no longer a theory, to build supercomputers. And the first quantum computing application is going to be released into the world this year in 2025. And it's accelerating. That is the scale of quantum computing versus Moore's law. So we are not hitting any type of limitation because of atomic size, because we've now figured out how to do computing across the multiverse. Into. What does this mean? Even Bitcoin in 7 years. Quantum computings are so advanced, all your passwords are going to be irrelevant. Bitcoin, even blockchain is going to be irrelevant unless, and this will probably happen, they create a quantum computing resistant Bitcoin. This is inevitable, it's most definitely going to happen, but that is the world we are stepping into. Now, it's not just that. Virtual reality. So in 2015, I'm in Silicon Valley, and I'm there with a group of scientists and researchers, and they put 5 of the world's leading experts in virtual and augmented reality on stage. And they asked them, based on where AI is going, based on where virtual reality is going, how many of you here believe we are living in a simulated reality? 80% of them said yes, we are living in a simulated reality. Now what they're essentially saying is, by 2030, because of quantum computing, because of advances in hardware, we will be able to step into the holodeck. Anyone here remember Star Trek? By 2030, we will be living in 3 different versions of reality. They will be physical reality. And I'm so glad I live in Estonia, because in our physical reality, we have trees and clean water and cobblestone streets. There will be augmented reality. This is going to be coming this year with new glasses powered by Google Gemini, where if I look at this audience, I'll be able to see your name. So it's a layer over physical reality. And then there's going to be virtual reality where you will wear gloves that can even simulate touch. You will wear headsets, ear sets, and you will be able to step into virtual worlds. There's a big danger here of addiction, that virtual reality is about to become a thing. Then there's longevity tech. Longevity tech is fascinating. I love experimenting with longevity tech. So I do some pretty wild experiments. I just had, for example, a follistatin shot by Dr. Adil Khan, which accelerates muscle growth. So I'm going through this experiment right now to see how much muscle, extra muscle can I put on in 4 months while the follistatin is impacting my body. And then there are robotics. These are coming in at least 2 to 3 years. All of you will be able to have a humanoid robot just like C3PO in your home. And I cannot wait for this. Now, all of this means we're entering a new era of human flourishing. Now, of course, there are people who say that AI might kill us, it might make us slaves, it might make us meat bodies that it mines for electricity. I think these people have overwatched The Matrix and maybe too much Terminator films. I believe that with the right scaffolding, with the right guardrails, I love what the EU is doing. The EU, for example, is implementing laws that will ban AI from being able to recognize our emotions. All of these things are good. I think the EU is going to lead the way in basically ethical AI. And I believe that what we're really going to step into is a world of unlimited human flourishing. Most experts agree GDP is going to grow by 7 to 8% year on year, starting next year. And it is inevitable that we will be heading towards not just a 4-day work week, but a 2-day work week. Both Elon Musk and Bill Gates predicted this. It is also inevitable that we will be heading towards universal basic income, which means wealth for everyone. Bill Gates said, if robots are going to take jobs, tax the robots. 3-day work week should be here by 2030, by 2035, possibly 2 or 1-day work weeks. All work is completely optional. Now, with all of these changes, how do we redefine our goals? How do we rethink our lives? How do we decide what is truly important? I believe these questions matter now. And because we as human beings have one of the greatest gifts that is in our soul, which is the ability to create our future, it's so important for us to know exactly what we should create. So SoulPact is just a series of 8 things that I want you to think about, and I want you to write down. I'm going to ask you 8 questions to help you get clear on that future. A lot of the old goals that you're setting for yourself come from a bullshit, broken education system. That's the way we've been running the world. Countries prioritize GDP per capita over happiness and health. Countries like the USA are seeing huge social unrest because their algorithms are obsolete. So SoulPact is simply an operating system for the soul. And every letter in SoulPact represents a question. So let's start with the first, simplicity. With AI, we are entering an era where most experts agree a team of 2 or 3 people can build a billion-dollar company. When I started my company, I envisioned having thousands of employees, having a gorgeous skyscraper building in my city of Kuala Lumpur. Today, my dream is being able to work from home, have my employees remote, and have the simplest company possible. I'm starting a new company right now, which is it's a healthcare app, doing it with just 2 people. And I believe this could be a 100 million in revenue company in the next 5 years. 2 people, just as a test, but a lot of AI. Simplicity means that today, any single person here can code your own app in about 1 or 2 hours. Use tools like Replit or Lovable.ai. You can literally speak to an AI right now and build anything you want. At Singularity University, this was really interesting. One of the lecturers said English literature majors can now code better than established programmers because you can go to tools like Replit and basically just speak out what you want. That very day at lunch with Hayden, we happened to sit next to this Canadian entrepreneur who runs a logistics company. And he goes, yes, that's true. I'm an English literature major. And in 30 hours on Replit.ai, I built an entire CRM and logistics management software for my trucking company in Canada. This was an English literature major. All of us can now live lives of simplicity because AI can radically simplify our lives. So what I want you to ask is, how can you make your life more simple? Complexity is not brilliance. Complexity is a tax on your nervous system. And yes, simplicity does not mean dream smaller. It means dream more effectively. There's a great story about Steve Jobs. When he was brought back into Apple in 1997, he went through Apple's entire product catalog and he said, cut, 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 cut. We're going to focus on only 4 things. A laptop for home and for business, and a desktop for home and for business. That's it, 4 products. Before you knew it, he and Johnny Ive launched the iMac and Apple was reborn. Simplicity. So, what does simplicity look like when you apply it in your life? It means billion-dollar businesses, or at least 10 or $100 million businesses run by 1 to 5 humans. Your systems run without micromanagement. You can take a week off anytime you want with ease. You measure success by how little you have to manage. By the end of this year, all of you who are structuring your businesses right will be able to create an AI that can act as co-CEO or co-founder using tools like agentic AI. All of you, by the end of this year, if you start going into just learning basic AI, will we be able to build businesses that are run on intelligence. So, I want you to write this down. My business is only, and underline the word only. We're so used to having goals. I will employ 100 people. I will have a business with offices around the world. I can tell you I have all of that. My office was listed in Inc. magazine, top 10 most beautiful offices in the world in 2012 and 2019. Now these offices sit empty because my employees chose to work from home. And we organize everything using AI. My business is only, that's the magic word. 5 people, only 20 hours a week, only focused in one country. And that brings us to opportunity. So opportunity is really interesting. We think opportunity comes from doing more. What if it's the exact opposite? 2 years ago, I had the most insane conversation. So I just decided to buy an apartment in Dubai, and a friend of mine said, you gotta meet this tech billionaire. He's a great guy. I'll set up a 45-minute meeting with him. So I go to meet this guy. His name is Wayne Boss. And Wayne takes me to his balcony. He has an apartment in one of the tallest residential towers in Dubai. That is the view from his balcony. That's the Palm Jumeirah. This guy has started 7 companies, taken them public. And so as we're standing on this balcony, looking out at this incredible view, and I'm going, my God, this is incredible. Wayne says, vision. Do you know what it takes to be a billionaire? And I go, no, tell me. I want to learn. And Wayne says this, work 21 hours a week. I go, what? He goes, it's not about working more. Work 21 hours a week. What do you mean? He says, listen, I work 7 hours on Tuesday, 7 hours on Wednesday, 7 hours on Thursday. I keep Monday and Friday free. If a friend tells me, Wayne, fly to London, let's check out this new business opportunity, I can fly out from Dubai to London Thursday evening, spend the weekend in London, see my kids who are going to college there, come back Monday evening, and go back to work. That's how I started 7 companies and took them public. Also, by working only 21 hours a week, I forced myself to delegate, to build process, to find the right people. You want to be a billionaire? Set a goal to work only 21 hours a week. Opportunity does not come from doing more. Opportunity comes from having the space to say yes. Now, is there evidence for this? Turns out there is. So much of the hustle culture of Silicon Valley is based on bullshit myths that come from an American underlying operating system of puritanical culture that says work more and you get closer to God. It is BS. We have to stop glorifying work and grind. Because if you look at American lifespans, they've now dropped to about, Americans die 2 to 3 years younger than Europeans. But they call the Europeans lazy, which is really interesting. I just think people in Europe have figured it out better. Europe, I believe, is ahead of the curve. Now, let's look at the evidence for this. This was a study done by an investment of a VC firm in America. And it was, I'm trying to remember the name of the guy who did it, Bill Gross. Okay, he founded Overture, which later became Google AdWords. What they found is that the success of a startup in Silicon Valley is only 14% dependent on the VC. 14%. I took my company to close to 150 million in revenue, no VCs. Only 14% is the VC. 24% is the business model. So if your business model sucks, congratulations, you still have a chance. 42% is timing. Airbnb started at the right time, 2008. Uber started at the right time. But how do you nail timing? Have space to say yes. Have space for opportunity. This is why Wayne's advice really makes sense. The vibe of opportunity looks like this. You wake up with space, not urgency. You say yes to podcasts, partnerships, and your AI saying, hey, I found the perfect rooftop party in Portugal with people that match your vibe. Would you like me to book tickets? Your calendar is curated, not crammed. You grow into the type of person opportunity chases, and you make room for magic. So I want you to write this down. I create opportunity in my life by leaving Mondays and Fridays free, stopping work at 4 p.m., keeping 2 hours in the morning available for me to read the news, study, and discover new opportunities. Being able to move to a new country for a month, to observe the culture and meet other entrepreneurs or people in the longevity space. How are you creating opportunity? The U in SoulPact stands for uniqueness. In an age of AI, your soul, your stories, your trauma, your unique edge is a fingerprint that makes you uniquely human. There's a great story about Goliath, right? David and Goliath. So when Goliath shows up in the battlefield, in biblical times, all the other soldiers look at Goliath and go, he is so big, how will we ever take him down? David shows up, and David's this scrawny guy, the equivalent of, the Uber delivery guy coming to a battle scene. And David looks at Goliath, but David has one unique edge. He knows how to toss a stone. David looks at Goliath and goes, he is so big, how could I possibly miss? What is that unique edge that is going to give you a moat on your business? And by the way, these unique edges are typically one or two things that you're good at, that you merge. I merged computer science, because that's my degree, electrical engineering and computer science, with meditation to build an app that today is featured in every single Apple store in the world. All 200,000 Apple stores, go there, open up the iPad, you will see my app. Mind that. I could do it with meditation plus computer science. What is your unique edge? It's typically two or more things that you blend together. Of living in your unique edge means this. People come to you for what only you can do. Your weirdness is your marketing. You don't chase relevance, you define it. You feel proud to be uncopyable. What is it about you that's so fucking weird that it might even turn off a potential date? That might be your unique edge. So text your ex and ask them, what do I do that just irritates you? And when they say it, celebrate it. Maybe it's that way you overuse your hands when you explain quantum manifesting. Write this down. I am known for my unique edge in what? Storytelling, jokes, my obsession with chana mushrooms. The L in soul stands for love. Rumi said, let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray. Love means set a goal, to have space in your life, to pursue something that you truly love. You create without asking if it will sell. You lose track of time doing it. Your art, your movement, your curiosity, they all have a seat at the table. Love, following what you love. Love is breadcrumbs that can lead you to your destiny. So what are things you love doing that you would do if you never got paid? Write this down. This is the fourth question. I follow what I love by regularly. So you see, when we write down goals ingrained into us by the education system, they're typically about career, money, the next great promotion, that they lack the soul. The four I've given you so far are simplicity, opportunity, finding your unique edge or celebrating it, and being able to do what you love. This brings us to the pact. Let's start with P, purpose. So I want to tell you a story to really illustrate this idea of purpose. I'm giving a talk in Dubai, and then I go backstage and this Arab sheikh comes to me, and that's a mid-journey rendition of what he looked like. He had all of this bling, like a rapper, and he was carrying this blue Louis Vuitton purse. So he starts talking about his business and his life, and I'm just wondering, gosh, what's in that blue Louis Vuitton purse? Why is this man carrying this purse? So he says, I ask him, that's a really nice purse, but why do you carry it? And he goes, Habibi, you want to see what is in my purse? I go, yes. So he opens his purse, and it shocks me. You want to know what was in that purse? $250,000 pure cash. So I ask him, what are you doing? He goes, well, firstly, this is Dubai, it's very safe. I can carry this anywhere. Secondly, this is my energy of abundance. When I carry this with me, I know the universe loves me and that I am abundant. When I go to a restaurant, I like the waitress, I can give her a bigger dinner. And I should have been impressed, because this is pretty cool. But I was actually turned off. Because living in Europe, living in Malaysia, living in the US, we think of abundance like this as flaunting, right? I'm not a guy, I have a Mercedes-Benz I haven't driven in 3 years because I prefer riding my bicycle. Today in Thailand, I have 2 bikes, no cars. It's because I just like a simple life. That's what makes me happy. So I was turned off by this, but I shouldn't have been. Because when I talked further to this guy, I asked him, what do you do? And he says, I'm one of the biggest water park developers in the world. And then I asked him, that's amazing. What do you attribute your success? And he said, purpose. 20% of everything that I make, I give to villages in Africa to fund schools and wells. And he said, in Muslim culture, we call this zakat. We give away money. And he says, that is the secret. I make back 10 times whatever I give away. That landed on me so much that today I practice that. 10% of whatever I make, I just quietly give away. And you give away without advertising, without talking about it, without being public about it. Public about it, you may be giving away for ego. And so this man that at first turned me off certainly became a great spiritual teacher. That is purpose. What would you do silently, not for Instagram likes, not for your portfolio or your brand? What would you do silently to help the world? It could also be your current job. What is the ripple it's leaving on humanity? What makes you feel useful, lit up, that your life matters? You're not just earning, you're impacting. And here's the question. My contribution to the world is. Write that down. You could give away a portion of your money. I think that's a great way. A lot of people that could benefit. But it could also be your work, your wisdom, your mentoring. And this brings us to the A, abundance. I used to think abundance was beautiful apartments, expensive cars, luxury watches. Today, that picture represents abundance for me. Being able to work from a beautiful cabin in the woods, be surrounded by nature, people you love, and don't feel guilty about abundance because we are entering a world of insane abundance. So celebrate money or Bitcoin. Now, a life of abundance looks like this. You receive money from work that energizes you. You embrace the circular flow of money and have no issues treating yourself. You make aligned income while you sleep. You never feel afraid to buy something that you know you deserve. You get to live in 5-star hotels, travel business class when you travel. Write this down. I will earn X amount per year in a fun and easy way. The key words being fun and easy. Break the cycle that wealth comes from hard work, hustle, and pain. It's bad for your longevity. So what is that number for you that will allow you to live in 5-star hotels, travel business class? The C in SoulPact stands for calmness. And what calmness means here is that you appreciate, not stress, not struggle, at moments when you can simply be still, be connected to yourself. As all of you know, it is the ultimate longevity habit. Science says stillness increases telomere length, which correlates with longer lifespans. It's not always about the gym. Sometimes it's about the massage. It's about sipping tea while listening to classical music by the fireplace. It's about being able to embrace that afternoon nap. I remember a great spiritual teacher of mine who called me up one day when I was going through a lot of stress in life. His name is Dr. Sri Kumar Rao. He's a famous MBA professor. And he said, Vishnu, I want to read you a poem about building companies. And he dropped this poem on me. I'd like to read it to you. When I run after what I think I want, my days are a furnace of distress and anxiety. But if I sit in my own place of patience, what I want comes to me without any pain. From this I understand that what I want also wants me, is looking for me and attracting me. There's a great secret in this for anyone who can grasp it. Rumi, he figured it out 700 years ago. Can you sit still in your place of patience and attract what you want. A life of calmness looks like this. You feel rested, you feel grounded, and all of you as biohackers know that this then leads to increase in productivity when you show up at work. Your nervous system feels at home in your home office or in your workplace. You unplug without guilt. You don't react, you respond from your center. You have weekly or daily rituals to nurture yourself. This should be a goal. Write this down. I will take care of myself by. The T in SoulPact is time. We're entering an era where time is going to be precious. We're going to have a lot of free time. Are you going to be hooked in games and virtual worlds and way too much Netflix? Or are you going to find better uses of your time? And I want to end my talk with this one last story. So, there's a men's coach called Warren Farrell. He's in his 80s right now, but he was very popular in the 1970s. And he used to create these men's groups in cities around the world to bring men together so men could help coach other men. It was around 1979, 1980. Warren Farrell was also a big associate of Gloria Steinem in the feminism movement. And one day he was attending this party by Gloria Steinem. And as he's going up to say hi to Gloria, this guy comes and grabs Warren's hand and said, "Warren, are you Warren Farrell?" And Warren goes, "Yes, I am." And the man goes, "Well, I got to share a story with you." So Warren goes, "Go ahead." And the man says, "Listen, I have the most amazing empire. And I decided to leave it all when I became a father." Warren goes, "Well, I applaud that. That takes a lot of bravery." And the man goes, No, I got to tell you the full story. My first son, I neglected him because I was so busy building my empire. And now my second son was just born. And I decided, I don't want to miss that. I want to quit. I want to just be at home. I want to change diapers. I want to go for walks with this kid. I want to feed him. I want to help him go to bed. I just don't want to build my empire anymore." Warren goes, "Did your wife approve?" Because women will say yes to that, but then if a man loses suspicion, it sometimes, affects the woman. And the guy goes, "Look, two things help me. One is that my wife, she completely supported this. And second, the support of the other men in the men's room." So at this point, Warren is completely awed by this man. They sit down, he's forgotten about Gloria Steinem, they're talking for about an hour, and then a lady comes up to Warren and goes, "I'm sorry, can I get a photo?" And Warren goes, Sure, let me just button my coat." And she goes, No, I don't mean you, Warren, I love you, but I mean him. So Warren turns to the man, "What's your name?" And the man goes, "John." Warren says, "Well, I'm Warren Farrell. John who?" And the man says, "John Lennon. I have this group called the Beatles." Now Warren hadn't owned a television set for 20 years, right? So he had no idea what John Lennon looked like. John Lennon basically quit the Beatles in 1975 when his son Sean was born. He basically decided to dedicate his life to Sean. 5 years, just for his kid. He didn't know that in 1980, a bullet would kill him. But those last 5 years of John Lennon's life, he was the perfect father. And that, he told Warren before he died, was his single greatest legacy. Which leads to the question, are we really spending our time? Is your legacy, your greatest legacy, really your business, your book, your invention? I don't think so anymore. I think our greatest legacy is what we leave in the hearts of the people who truly love us. And that's what I want to leave you with. Make time for the right things. Have your days filled with intention, not interruption. Work less, earn more, live better. Protect your mornings and disappear into the evenings with the people who love you. And the final question is this: I only work X hours a week. So there's simplicity. Feel free to record this if you want to get all of this and you want to do this exercise at home. Turn on your recorder, we'll do this for 1 minute. Simplicity. Opportunity. I create opportunity in my life by uniqueness. I'm known for my unique edge in love. I follow what I love by regularly. Purpose. I contribute to the world by abundance. I will earn X per year in a fun and easy way. Calmness. I regularly make time to take care of my body and protect my energy by and time. I only work X hours a week. There's your SoulPact. It's a new framework where AI can run the grind and you can nurture your soul. Thank you. I'm Vishen. Follow me on Instagram.